So Cardano is right now, as we're speaking, trying to break a very key resistance, and the question now is, if we break this one, how far can we actually reach here in the very short term, and what are some key target levels to pay attention to for Cardano? So in this video, guys, we are once again back with a Cardano price prediction and technical analysis. If you guys enjoy these Cardano updates and want to see more of them, it's always super awesome and helpful when you show that by dropping a like. And real quick before we get started here, I just have to give a disclaimer. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing in this video is financial advice. But alright guys, let's get started right away here. And right now we're looking at the Cardano daily time frame, and as we can see here, just recently we actually broke this very key upper line of this downsloping trend channel we have been trading in since pretty much all the way back here. You can see since all the way back in the middle of November, we have been trading in a down sloping channel here. But just recently, right here on December 21st, we broke this one. But now we are seeing some sellers coming in here at our first resistance level we talked about in our previous video. So since we have been seeing some bullish price movement lately for Cardano, let's actually start this video off by taking a look at the upside scenario. So what are some key resistance levels and target levels that we can pay attention to in the short to medium term here for Cardano? And the first level I do want to talk about in this video, it is this zone right here in between around 1.50 to 1.40 US dollars. Why is this one important? Well, as we can see here, just recently we actually saw some resistance at this level, and we have been talking about this one in multiple videos. We can see, for example, we saw resistance right here, in the beginning of December. We also saw this zone acting as resistance here in late November, looking a bit left here. So if we look all the way back, you can see all the way back here in August, we saw this one as resistance. We also saw a clear resistance right here on July 5th. So multiple times historically, this 1.50 to 1.40 level have been acting as a key resistance. So in my opinion, definitely one to pay attention to. That said, what about if we manage to push above this one? What is the next level I do look out for? Well, then I'm looking up. I'm looking all the way up here to this zone right here in between around 1.96 to 1.82 US dollars. Why do I look out for this one? Well, we look a bit left once again, and we can see that this one have been acting, as a clear resistance here, November 20. We have also seen this one as support multiple times. You can see support. And if we look way back at some historical data, we can see that all the way back here in June and May, we saw resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times here prior to the previous push towards the all-time high. So this is yet another historical level, 1.96 to 1.82, and this one we have been having on the chart forever. We have been talking about this one in multiple videos, so definitely keep your eyes on that. But what about if the bulls even manage to push above that one? Well, then unfortunately, we still have a level here in between around 2.28 to 2.14 to pay attention to. But if we can get above that one, then it starts to look super optimistic for Cardano, because in this whole area in between around 2.28 to all the way up to 2.94, I don't really see any clear resistance in this whole area. So if we can break 2.14 to 2.28, it starts to look once again very optimistic in my personal opinion for Cardano. And as I said, the next resistance level after the 2.28 is all the way up at around 2.94 to 3.09. And the reason we're looking out for this one is we look way back here. We can see that the upper line, of course, comes from the beautiful all-time high Cardano printed September 2nd. And the lower line, we have been having 1, 2, 3 touches on that line. So this area is definitely one to keep your eyes on. Now we are soon ready to take a look at some target levels for 2022. For example, why do we have a target all the way up at 6.37 US dollars? But real quick before we do that, we do have to talk about something that is at least as important as our upside scenario. And there's of course to take a look at where is our most important support levels. So what are some key levels where we can actually see strong bounces here towards the upside? And real quick before we do that, I also of course want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I know that a lot of you guys are celebrating today, the 25th. Here in Sweden we actually have the main celebrations on the 24th, so yesterday for me. So Merry Christmas to you all and happy holidays. But as for the downside scenario, the first one I do pay attention to here. So if we actually fail to push above this zone we recently talked about and start to drop here, what are some key support levels I do look out for? Well, one thing here on the 4 hour you actually can pay attention to if we extend this lower line. So Cardano, in my opinion, recently trading in some form of descending triangle looking structure. And if we extend this lower yellow line, you can see we have been having at least, 1, 2, 3, 4 pretty much 5-6 touches on this level. I would not be surprised here that if we start to drop, that we will get yet another touch at this slightly upsloping yellow line. With that said, what about if the bears actually push below this one? Well, the first sort of horizontal level I do pay attention to, it is this zone right here in between around 1.04 to 0.98. Why do I pay attention to this one? Well, if we look a bit left here, we'll look a lot of left all the way back here to, you can see we had one touch right here, July 20. Looking a bit more left, we can see that we saw yet another touch right here, June 22nd. And if we look a lot of historically here, we can see multiple touches as support, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually also saw this one. This was actually the old all-time high we printed all the way back here in February. So this level have historically been acting, both as support and resistance multiple times. And this is probably the most key support level here for Cardano. We really do not want to break below this one, because if we do that, it starts to look really bearish and we don't really have any clear support until all the way down at around 0.80. So this one right here in between 1.04 to 0.98 is definitely one, probably the most important one in my personal opinion. But alright guys, so now let's take a look at some target levels here for 2022. For example, why do we have a target all the way up at 6.37? Well, in order to understand that, we need to zoom out a bit here. We're actually going to zoom out all the way back here to our old all-time high. If you remember, the all-time high we printed May 16. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to use our Fibonacci tool. So we anchor from the high we printed May 16 here down to the very low, and then you can see we will get some Fibonacci extension levels. And this is a very common method that traders use when something breaks all-time high. So these start to get valid here if we actually manage to push above all-time high. And the first target I do pay attention to, this is the 1.618 fib extension, and this one takes Cardano to a target level all the way up at around 3.39 US dollars. That said, what about if we actually can push above 3.39? Well, then I look up all the way up here to our 2.618 fib extension. This one comes from the same swing high to swing low, and this one would give us a target all the way up here at around 4.87 US dollars. And we can actually continue this process one more. So if we even push above 4.87, then I'm looking up all the way up here to our 3.618, and this is the one that gives us the target level at around 6.37 US dollars. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you feel like you got any kind of help or value, then please consider dropping a like. And if you guys are interested in more, then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope I will catch you in the next video. But for now guys, take care. Ciao, ciao.